guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about, surprisingly, Miss Bethenny Frankel. She is being discussed by a lot of people again currently because of some content that she made regarding Taylor Swift and our opinions canceled, and it's got a whole bunch of different stuff peppered throughout it. So I figured that we could talk about this since I just covered her last week and the entire Makeup Gate, TJ Maxx drop off situation, whatever you're calling it. But I figured that we could talk about this because I think it's a valid discussion. Our opinions canceled on social media. I have a lot of thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so I will link my other video on Bethenny down below. I talked about the makeup donation catastrophe that she got herself involved in. That was a mixed bag because I know that, some of y'all, based on the comment section, you like Bethenny, you like who she is, and somebody said, oh, well, it's only because she's from New York, we don't back down. And I think that person kind of missed the mark as to what I was trying to communicate in my video, but that's just the way that it goes sometimes. I don't think that it has a lot to do with the fact that she's from New York. I think that it has to do with Bethenny wants her voice to be the loudest, and she can never do any wrong. Nothing that she's doing is in bad taste or snarky or just flat out wrong. That's just she is one of those many people. They exist. We see it all the time. First, let's talk about the video that started all of this. As most of y'all probably know, even if you don't follow Taylor Swift, you have probably seen that she was at the Kansas City Chiefs game over the weekend. There's been a rumor going around since that game that she is dating Travis Kelce, and he is a player for the Chiefs, and she was at the game. She was seen with him after the game. Then they paid to shut down this restaurant, kicked everybody out of the restaurant after paying for their food so that they could have privacy. And I said over on my Instagram stories, I was talking to some of you guys because I shared on my story, like, I am so over rich people. I am really so over rich people. Like, why didn't you make a reservation? Why don't you go back to your hotel room? Because your freaking hotel room is probably bigger than 5 of my houses. Like, it's the just entitled. Like, is it a nice idea to pay everyone for everyone's meals? Yeah, sure. But to tell them that they have to leave right now because Taylor Swift and this guy are here, like, I don't know. It's just very entitled, and I didn't care for it. So anyway, because she was at this game and they left the game together, of course people are saying, they're in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Does it look like they're in a relationship? Yeah. Could it just be a fling? Also, yeah. We don't know how serious this is. It's brand new. And I think that people are kind of taking it and running with it a little bit too early. This could literally be a fling for like 3 months and they go their separate ways. Yeah, I just don't think that it's that serious, and I'm also not here to dig into people's relationships. I just, hey, if you're not harming anybody around you or harming yourself, I don't really have any opinions to say about who's dating who. Unless it becomes harmful, then obviously people are going to raise concerns. But Bethenny decided that her opinion was needed on this Travis and Taylor football game situation. Let me share what she said, and then I will tell you guys how I feel about constantly having to put on an opinion about every single thing that you come across on social media. She called Taylor Swift over the top because she was acting like a football wife. She was looking like she had been in a serious relationship with this guy for decades, and she encouraged her to keep your 2 feet on the ground. Nobody else should be your identity. And people disagreed with her in that comment or in that video. And of course, that's when she came back with the our opinions canceled thing.
So I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I went to her concert, I had a great time. I had tremendous respect for how hard she works. And it's just like certain people, you're not an active fan. Like, I'm a very active fan of Pink, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Beyonce. I'm not of Gwen Stefani and Taylor Swift for just whatever reason. It's just who I react to. Oh, Kelly Clarkson, massive fan. So I just watch her entertainment and her quote unquote antics or whatever you guys talk about on social media as fodder. And I've heard when in the past you guys have said that she buys houses near guys she dates and she gets really into the guy she's with. And that happens. That's common. So there's a new guy that she's dating who's on the Kansas City Chiefs. Only a team that's on my radar because I'm good friends with Eric Stonestreet, who's obsessed with them, and because I like Kansas City and good steaks. But I did notice that at the game, she was really, really over the top as a fan and chumming with the mom. And like, it felt like the chia pet of relationships, like just add water, like they were together for 10 years. Like she's a full football wife. And listen, opinions are like assholes, and you'll call me one, and everyone has one, but just chiming in for fun. And I did notice that, you know, football's different than music or going to the MTV Awards and being all jacked up about NSYNC, because people in their own spaces are wary of newcomers. Like it took a long time for Giselle to be a football wife. And remember, Kim Kardashian was at the Saints games, like all in. And football fans are very tricky. They like loyalists, like ride or die. They're not interested in people coming in, you know, for a short ride. And it's similar with basketball players too. That whole world likes loyalty. Sports fans are diehard, as are music fans. So I find it interesting that people are a little like things that make you go, that she literally looked like she had been in a serious relationship with this guy for decades. And I think a couple of months ago, we saw her on her tour with another guy. She was dating another guy. And I guess who cares? Who cares? Except that it's important. And I tell my daughter every day, like it's great to find people that you like spending time with. And boys are going to be great and fun, or girls, whatever she chooses. But you got to maintain your own identity, and you don't want to absorb your whole life into someone else's. Even though it's fun, you got to keep your 2 feet on the ground and be your own person, and nobody needs to save you. And no other person should be your identity. We see even celebrities who really, the person they're with becomes their identity. All of a sudden they change management teams, or they're dressing like the other person. They just don't seem like who they were before. And I think it's just like life for normal people.
There's a time and a place where I come across stuff on social media all the time. I don't always have to have an opinion about every single little thing. I don't know. That's just the way my brain operates. Some stuff I come across and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. Do people need to hear my opinion about this? No, because it's really not that serious. And of course, then there's also the flip side where something might seem really silly and I bring it to you guys and make a video, but that's not on a consistent basis. And I'm not saying, you know, she's allowed to make this, she's not allowed to make that, but there were several comments in the first video that she made of people saying, there's a time where we don't really need your opinion. And this is one of those, and it backfired on her. And that's when she came out with this other video, which of course I will include for context. But she started out by saying, was this app always a breeding ground for hate? Or is that a newer thing? Because I've spoken to people who were on this app in the beginning and said that it was one community.
Was this app always a breeding ground for hate, or is that a newer thing? Because I've spoken to people who were on this app in the beginning and said it was one community.
I don't know about you guys, but I find TikTok to be kind of have people on both sides. I don't look at TikTok as one community. I don't look at any social media platform as just having one community. It's usually there's good and there's bad, and then there's the people in between. I think that applies to most social media platforms, but tell me if you think I'm wrong down below. She continued and said, and so many people on here say it's supposed to be about being authentic and being truthful.
And so many people on here say it's supposed to be about being authentic and being truthful.
I think people like authenticity, but that doesn't mean that they have to like your authentic self. Nobody is obligated to like you or respect you when you're putting out public content. Be authentic doesn't mean people have to like it. If you express an honest opinion, like a non-bashing opinion, but just something that is your opinion, people want to beat you up and they get more views if they hate. So hating on you sells, hate sells. It used to be this sells, but here hate sells.
And if you express an honest opinion, like a non-bashing opinion, but just something that is your opinion, people want to beat you up. And they get more views if they hate. So hating on you sells. Hate sells. It used to be that sells, here hate sells.
Veiling every single person who disagrees with you as being hateful or mean-spirited comments is the age-old argument of people on social media. As soon as they get kicked back and people don't like what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're being sold, or whatever category it falls into, if you push back on that, even if you're being civil, people are going to say that you're being hateful, you're being mean, you're a hater now, simply because you didn't like what they had to say. And even if you were constructing those opinions in a really, really defined manner and staying within the lines and all of the stuff that I've talked about before, yeah, you know, there are actual haters out there, but then there's also people that just don't like what they see, and they're entitled to share their opinion just like you're entitled to share yours. The problem with Bethenny is that she likes to silence people who don't approve of what she's saying or doing. Bethenny has sent a C&D to Meredith Lynch, who is another kind of pop culture influencer commentary creator on TikTok. And she received a C&D from Bethenny's attorney trying to silence her.
Because some people are like agreeing with her in the comments about the Taylor Swift video, but some people aren't. So then she put up a video called "Our Opinions Canceled," to which I say, well, it felt that way when you sent me a cease and desist over absolutely nothing. I have to play like one part of it for you, because talk about being such a hypocrite. And yeah, we have to play it on my computer because she blocked me ages ago for having an opinion.
You can't want people to express themselves and be honest and then want them to be stifled and only say what you want them to say. That's the problem with politics. That's the problem with social media.
And lest we forget, because I always think it's worth bringing it up, the legal bullying that Bethenny Frankel did to me was abhorrent. And I have talked to lawyers about this, and they're like, yeah, what that lawyer did, really not good, and honestly could be reported. Let's look at it. Roll the tape. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here, but you can pause to read this wonderful letter that attorney Karen Gottlieb sent me on behalf of her client, Bethenny Frankel, that said, if I told anyone about this letter, other than like my lawyer, if I disclosed anything about receiving this letter, I would be breaking confidentiality, because they were saying this is confidential communication. You cannot send someone unsolicited a letter and say, this is confidential, you can't tell anyone, because I don't have confidentiality with her. And they said it will be deemed a willful violation of our client's rights. And friendly reminder, I'm not the only person that she did this to. And before you like get on your thing of like, you're obsessed with her, what she did was really unfair. And then she likes to be the one out here being like, we're not allowed to have opinions anymore. Well, you didn't help very much, did you? And I don't think that she's ready for this, but her conversation about Taylor Swift is rooted in misogyny. It is. Like, I don't think that she's ready for that, but like her whole thing of like, and you know what? You can't say I don't like, because I like Lady Gaga. Oh, who gives a shit anymore? Oh my God. For the love of God, someone disconnect the Wi-Fi in the Hamptons guest house for like a day.
And Bethenny also will literally block people if they even remotely hint that they do not approve of what her video is saying. Are opinions canceled? No, I don't think opinions are canceled. But you're really one to sit up on your channel and try to say that opinions are canceled? All that you do is put out opinions on the internet. Nobody is under contract with you to like or agree with what you're saying. But when somebody vocalizes that they don't like you, you get lawyers involved. Or you send your followers after them. She continued and said, so if you keep perpetuating the hate, you'll get more views, and that's really unhealthy. And it's kind of fake news that you're allowed to express an opinion. I earlier expressed that I'm not an active Taylor Swift fan no more than I'm not an active Bruce Springsteen fan. I appreciate his music, etc. I've been more of an Elton John or Billy Joel. I'm not allowed to have liked Rihanna and Beyonce and Kelly Clarkson and Gaga coming up. Those are people I respond to.
So if you keep perpetuating the hate, you'll get more views, and that's really unhealthy. And it's kind of fake news that you're allowed to express an opinion. I earlier expressed that I'm not an active participating Taylor Swift fan, no more than I am not an active Bruce Springsteen fan. I appreciate his music. I respect him as an artist. I think he's very talented and entertaining, but I've always been Elton John or Billy Joel. Am I not allowed to have liked Rihanna and Beyonce and Kelly Clarkson and Mariah and Alicia Keys and Gaga coming up? Those are people that I respond to.
The problem with Bethenny is that she didn't go on her channel or on her page and just simply say, I don't really care for Taylor Swift's music. It's just not my cup of tea. She went ahead and went in on Taylor Swift and tried to say that she was being a fake football wife and how, she's losing her identity and, diving headfirst into this relationship when we don't even know that it's anything super official. So yeah, you're allowed to not like certain artists or not care for their music. I vocalized before that I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. I don't have anything against her, but no, I don't follow her on social media and I don't really care when her next album is coming out. But I'm just neutral. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I don't follow her. And having that opinion simply stated is not what Bethenny Frankel did. So to now try to manipulate what her original video was saying is very interesting to me. And try to make it out to be like, oh, well, I just said I didn't like this person's music. And I'm being canceled. Opinions are canceled. I don't like this side of Bethenny Frankel that I've seen recently, and y'all can like me or hate me for saying that, but I do not like this side of her. I think that it comes off as very condescending and rude, and anytime someone goes up against her, she cries that she's being canceled. It is really wild. She said, do I need to be in a cult now?
Is that not allowed? Do I have to be in a cult now?
No, Bethenny, you don't need to be in a cult. Nobody cares that you don't like Taylor Swift as an artist. The problem is that you drag the poor girl for being at a damn NFL game and participating and being happy. And, I assume that Bethenny Frankel has been to an NFL game, but being at an NFL game is a different experience than, going over to your friend's house and watching the game on a Sunday. The energy is explosive. And so for her to be in participation with fans and the energy that was in that stadium, I just don't understand what there is to be so salty about. She went on to say, am I supposed to do what you guys want me to do? Because that's not going to happen, and it's getting crazy. Like, you like mayonnaise on something. I would have put mustard. Is everyone psychotic? Has everyone lost their goddamn mind? You can't play stupid and smart at the same time. You can't want people to express themselves and be honest and want them to be stifled and only say what you want them to say. That's the problem with politics. That's the problem with social media. It's okay to have a different opinion than the mob. It's also okay to have your own opinion, not the one that social media tells you to have.
Am I supposed to do what you guys want me to do? Because that's not going to happen. And it's getting crazy. Like, you put mayonnaise on something, that's gross. I would have put mustard. Like, is everyone just psychotic and lost their goddamn mind? You're allowed to have an opinion. You can't play stupid and smart at the same time. You can't want people to express themselves and be honest and then want them to be stifled and only say what you want them to say. That's the problem with politics. That's the problem with social media. It's okay to have a different opinion than the mob. It's also okay to have your own opinion, not the one that social media tells you to have.
This is not an issue of differing opinions. It is the problem of the words and the things that she was saying in her original video that really upset not only people that are huge fans of Taylor Swift, because I know that her following is extremely strong, but also people like me who I'm just kind of sitting in the middle, but I still don't like what she had to say. And most importantly, her response in this "Our Opinions Canceled" came off as a freaking crybaby to me. It came off as very whiny, but also very condescending. And I think that it's completely ridiculous. The other creator that I was talking about in the beginning of this video, you know, she only has around 25,000 followers on TikTok. And a lot of those followers came because of her interactions being shared with Bethenny Frankel. All that woman said was that she was being entertained by the Makeup Gate TJ Maxx situation. She complimented Bethenny. She said, I've read her book. I think that she's one of the smartest housewives. And that wasn't good enough for Bethenny because there was that little bit of, I don't really know if I like what I'm seeing, but it is certainly entertaining. That was the vibe I got from her original video.
I am living for the Bethenny Frankel drama on this app. I shouldn't be, because it's terrible of me. It's definitely a lower vibration version of me, but I am living for it. She is unhinged. She is spiraling out like a ham at Easter. It is amazing to me. And in the day, I don't really watch a lot of it anymore, but in the day, I loved it. I ate that shit up like chicken soup. I loved it. So this is like, and I read her book, Just Say Yes. I read it like 20 times. I thought she was the smartest person ever on any of the franchises, which brings me to my theory. Hear me out. I think that she's gone so completely unhinged lately because of the new season. What is it? Jenna Lyons? Jenna Lyons is on there. Prior to Jenna Lyons, for all intents and purposes, Bethenny was the most self-fulfilled success story, I guess. Like she built her own brand and her own business and made a lot of money and was like really, really successful financially. But now Jenna Lyons is on that, and she's on that franchise. And that bitch, now that's success. That's worldwide, global, multi-mega billions of dollars worth of inventory and clothes and housewares a year type of shit. Creative director of J. Crew. That's success. And I think a leaf just attacked me. Did you see that? But it's fall. Fall is coming. I was just attacked by a leaf. I gotta get back on track. Anyway, I think that the little insecurity monster is popping up in Bethenny because Jenna Lyons is now the top dog when it comes to like commercial success on Real Housewives, especially the New York franchise. Thoughts?
She has also chimed in now with this current Our Opinions Canceled fiasco.
It's kind of fake news that you're allowed to express an opinion.
Hi, it's me. You probably don't remember me. But just days ago, I made a TikTok where I expressed an opinion, and I wasn't mean or ugly. I said that I thought you were one of the smartest housewives and that I read your book like 20 times. I did not get into the right or wrong about Makeup Gate or Consuelo or any of that. I put in no input whatsoever about that other than the fact that I was really highly entertained by all of the drama surrounding it. It's sort of like free Real Housewives or Housewives on TikTok, and that I was living for all of the, it's fun to watch. And you came right into my comments. Yeah, you came right for me and sent all of your followers right for me. And I fielded a mass of ugly comments and people who had all kinds of things to say about me, about my appearance, about my body, about my breathing, about my hair, about all manner of hatefulness came my way. So I'm just curious if this only applies to you or does it apply to the rest of us? Asking for a friend.
Since filming that TJ Maxx video last week, I received a couple of comments along the same lines of, there are bigger things to worry about in the world. And I want to touch on that for just a second because I receive those comments not consistently, but more often than you might think on my videos. Are some of the things that I talk about on my channel very minuscule and silly? They can be. But at the same time, if I'm only covering really serious stuff, then people can get burnt out on talking about really serious topics. So once in a while, if I can talk about Bethenny Frankel getting herself into a mess of makeup at TJ Maxx, then I'm going to insert those in to other content. I just don't understand. The one thing that I will say is sometimes on social media, it does feel like you can't win. And I've been told before, don't use a snarky tone when you're reading a comment that somebody left. But then if I don't do that, then I'm boring and monotone and, whatever. So it's like, okay, if I get a little snarky once in a while, then I'm being mean and I lose my credibility. But then if I'm super serious and monotone, then I'm boring and nobody wants to watch the video. So there are certain things where me being on the creator side, I have seen and felt you can't win. There are just some people that you cannot win with on social media, and it's a constant balancing act. But as far as Bethenny trying to claim that opinions are canceled and everybody is just so upset and so triggered by opinions, certain content that people come across online, they're just simply not going to like. And the easiest way that I have kind of approached my own content is, if you are being a jerk, then you don't have a voice on my channel. If you are going to be outright cruel in what you're saying, then you're not going to have a voice on my channel. There are people who think that I shouldn't have opinions about parenting because I'm not a parent. We all have opinions about the president. None of us have been president. You know what I mean? It's just like this common sense logic. But if you respect me, I will respect you. And just because I don't have, just because I might have a really direct opinion at times, that doesn't mean that I'm being mean or hateful. And I'm just simply somebody with an opinion who happens to have a channel where we talk about stuff. We talk about not so serious stuff, some serious stuff, and I do my best to balance it. And if you respect me, I will respect you. But I know when people are being cruel, and those are people that have no voice on my channel. If you are a manipulator, a bully, or somebody who is just here to be mean, bye. Why are you here? Why are you here if you're so bothered by my little silly videos that are opinion based? I'm not breaking terms of service. I'm not being a jerk. And my opinions just like have the ability to set some people off. It's a really weird place to exist, but whatever. I think that's enough blabbering for today. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.